Hi everyone, welcome to Devoga with Beautiful Feet Wellness. My name is Jenny and I will be guiding you today. A few things you might need before we get going is a pillow to sit on right from the get-go. That's where we're going to start seated. Put on some stretchy clothes and open your mind. We're going to really flow a little bit today. And then if flexibility is not your thing, maybe grab one of these, a towel or a yoga strap, whatever you'd like. It might come in handy. Just kind of put it to the side and just in case you want to use it. I'll reference it a couple times. And then I didn't really reference it as much today, but a block. I have just a can of carrots, evidently, because it's about the same height as a block if you lay it on your side. And I typically, if I'm going to have this or use this, you'll want to put it towards the top of your mat. Like up here, that's going to be where it's most handy for some of the poses that we're doing today. Today we're focusing on Psalm 145, 8, verse 8. And that says, "The Lord is gracious and compassionate, slow to anger, and rich in love." And I colored us this little picture for the day. Isn't that cute? That's called my artwork. It's a good way to meditate on the word before I get going and just kind of see what God is showing me through those times. So I suggest say yourself a little prayer. Let's just pray together right now before we get going. Dear God, I just pray that you would guide us through this practice, guide us through this time. Lord, I pray that we would get out of it what you want us to get out of it. And Lord, I pray that you would just open our hearts, open our minds, help us to integrate all of who we are together, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And Lord, I pray that you would just show us new and wonderful things through every pose, every posture, every breath throughout this practice and throughout the rest of our day and days. And Lord, we just thank you for giving us this time, giving us the ability that we have to do this. And I just pray that you would be with us, bless us, and bring us joy and peace and show up with us. So, amen. All right, let's get going, guys. Alrighty, let's go ahead and start just in a nice comfortable seat on our mats. When you find that, you can be cross-legged, one right in front of the other. Feel free to sit on a blanket or a pillow if you'd like. And then your hands can just be on your knees or in your lap, but roll those shoulders back. Sit up nice and tall. Think about the energy reaching out through the crown of your head, so slight tuck in that chin. Sit up nice and tall. And then begin to close your eyes and focus on your breath. And just breathe. And if you can, try to move that breath from your chest to your belly. Nice big belly breaths. You can breathe out of your mouth if you need to release a little more tension from the day or from anything. And when you're ready, just try to move your breath in and out of your nose. And keeping that nice tall spine, begin to relax your face. That space between your eyebrows, maybe your jawline. And breathe. I'm going to go ahead and read you our verse and our thought for the day. Our verse comes from Psalm 145, 8, verse 8. "The Lord is gracious and compassionate, slow to anger, and rich in love." There's something about that combo, gracious and compassionate. I think when God saw them and he had compassion for them, like it says in the Bible, and I think about that verse, God saw them and had compassion for the people. That doesn't automatically mean that he has to be gracious. Just like us having compassion for others doesn't mean that we are automatically gracious towards them. But God is. And I think you can extend grace and forgiveness without really having that kind of compassion. But God is also slow to anger and rich in love. That doesn't mean he doesn't get angry, but if he is, no, he didn't just get there overnight. So if God is angry with you or angry on your behalf and serving justice, that would not be the time to question his harshness, but to sit humbly and know that God is good and just, and he is also rich in love towards you, the other person or people, and so on. Oh, to be rich in love. That's where I want to be rich indeed. Just like God. All of that. Gracious, compassionate, slow to anger, and rich in love. So today we're going to focus on these qualities of God as we try to embrace them in our lives and see what they mean for us and see where we can express them today in our whole being, in our mind, in our thoughts, in our body, through yoga today, right now, and then also in our hearts. So as we go through this practice, I will verbally continue to bring up parts of this passage, but try also to bring them up to yourself and remind yourself of times when you need to be gracious and compassionate towards yourself and towards others, when you need to be slow to anger, especially towards yourself and your abilities, your capabilities, but then also very rich in love. Be very kind to yourself. You got to live with yourself. And hopefully by the end of this practice, you'll come away feeling like you have more of a richness and love towards other people as well. And you can just expand that richness. I think going back to the verse that we had yesterday of just do unto others as you would have them do it unto you, or love your neighbor as yourself, really is the verse. Love your neighbor as yourself. Sorry, brain fart. Keep breathing. But, you know, it starts here, right here, with you sitting on your mat, breathing nice and deep. And then as we move, not becoming angry with yourself, but being gracious and compassionate and very, very rich in love. So when you're ready, take your hands out to the side, palms face forward. Take a nice big inhale up, inhale. And exhale back down. Good, inhale back up. And exhale back down. Good, this time inhale up. Exhale, opening to the right side. Left hand comes to your right knee. Sit up nice and tall. Inhale. Exhale, twist a little more from your shoulders. Inhale up back through center. And exhale, twist the other direction. Sit up nice and tall. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale back to center. And exhale, twist to the other side. Inhale, find length in your spine. And exhale, twist a little more. Inhale, release, arms back up. And exhale to the other side. Sitting up nice and tall to begin with on that inhale. And exhale, finding more of that twist. Inhale, arms back up. And exhale, arms come out to the side. Good. Go ahead and coming on to your hands and knees. You're going to go ahead and tuck those toes. Sit back on your heels. Roll your shoulders back. Good. Good. And from here, we're just going to stretch out your feet. Having compassion for these little guys that support literally all of you all the time. So you can go ahead and put your hands next to your knees. Sit back on your feet. This is called awkward pose for good reason. It looks nice and feels nice and awkward. It's a good balance pose. So check in. Are you slow to anger? If you're falling out of this pose right now, are you slow to anger? Falling out of poses, by the way, means that you try, and it's a sign that you are gracious towards yourself and you're ready to explore. You're not so cautious that you can't, fall down, because we all need to fall down a little bit sometimes. Failure's a great teacher. And you don't know what it feels like till you try, so it may not be as bad as you think. Alright, if you're ready to come out of awkward pose, go ahead and place your hands down, untuck those toes, woo, and then sit back down on top of them, stretching your feet the other way. Now, if this is good enough stretch for you, feel free to stay here. If you'd like to stretch your feet out a little further, You can place your hands or your fists on the ground if your wrists aren't your best friend. And then just begin to lift your knees up off the ground, stretching out the front of your feet. And you can go as high as you need to in order to get that stretch. Good. When you're ready, lower back down. Good. Walk those hands out. Put them right underneath your shoulders, knees right underneath your hips. You're going to go ahead and take your left leg back behind you, flexing your foot. Nice straight line. And you're going to take that right arm out in front of you. Good. Inhale, find length. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, lengthen. This time your arm is going to come out to the side. Likewise, your foot is going to come out to the other side. And if you have not a lot of space, this may be a little hard. You're going to try to keep that foot hovered out to the side, arm also hovered out to the side. Hold. When you're ready, place that hand back underneath you, keeping that foot outstretched to the side. And then just begin to pulse a little bit forward. I'm just going to turn around so you can see if you're really confused. And just pulse forward. Good. And then set that foot flat on the ground. And from here, we're going to get a nice stretch. So you can do one of two things. You can hang out here if you're feeling it already, great. You can drop down to your elbows. And if you'd like to stay on your hands, a fun one to get more of a stretch is you literally just take these hips and turn them towards, away from that outstretched leg. So think about shining your hips, turning them to face away from your outstretched leg. That'll get you a nice stretch right up in here. Good. When you're ready, go ahead and take that foot up, take it back behind you. Opposite hand comes up off the ground. Good. Breathe. Make sure you're breathing. And place your hand back down on the ground, knee back down on the ground. All right, other side. Go ahead and lift that left leg or your right leg up nice and high. Left arm up to follow suit. Find your balance here. Flexing that back foot, really reaching through your fingers. Find that nice long straight line. Head can look down at your mat. Nice straight line through your neck as well. Good. Nice inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Taking your arm out to the side. Take your leg out to the other side. Hold it there for a second. This arm is still up. Good. Place that hand underneath your shoulder. Leg up a little higher, maybe a little more forward, and little pulses forward. Nice flexed foot. Breathe. And hold. Good. Setting that foot flat on the ground. And then again, you can stay here, coming down on your elbows. You can also work to move your hips away from that outstretched leg. Get a nice, good inner thigh stretch there. And breathe. I just think about, in times like this, we have like one leg outstretched. It's like we're extending our love right out to the side, out to help people. But then realizing that we still kind of need that leg to stand on, right? But we can put more of our weight, more of our support in the leg that's right underneath us. But whenever we extend out to community, we still need that feedback of the ground. We still need that feedback of the community to really help us engage. Good. Go ahead and come back up to your hands. If you are on your elbows, take that leg up and behind you, extending the opposite arm one more time. Good. And just replace them down on the ground. Awesome, everyone. From here, we're going to go ahead and tuck our toes. We're going to send it back into downward dog. Today, we're going to be flowing a little bit more, see if we can find that grace and compassion in the midst of these times. See if we can be slow to anger and rich in love as we go throughout this practice. You ready? All right. Inhale, look towards the top of your mat. You can walk, jump, or step up there. As you exhale, inhale, halfway lift. Go ahead and come up to your shins. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. Exhale, hands through heart center. Good, breathe, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Walk or jump your feet out to plank. Really thinking about the middle of your back, pressing up in that plank. We're not sinking down like this, okay? This is not a struggle. We are finding strength here, okay? And when you're ready, go ahead and chaturanga. So bend those elbows down next to your side. You can come all the way to your mat if you'd like. Pulling it through for upward dog. Roll your shoulders back. And take it back, downward facing dog. Untuck your toes. Good. Check in here. See where you're at. Take a breath. When you're ready, walk, jump, or step your feet up to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Hands overhead. Where does your help come from? And hands to your heart center. Finding that love, rich in love. Here we go. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, plant your hands, step your feet back into plank. Find a good, nice, solid, sturdy plank here. When you're ready, tucking those elbows in, come down. See if you can hold it for a second. Just hovering off the ground. And then as you pull through, upward facing dog. Rolling those shoulders back. This doesn't even feel powerful. Here we go. Inhale, and as you exhale, press it back, downward facing dog. Good, inhale that left leg up nice and high. And bring it through knee to nose. Inhale, leg up. Through to the opposite elbow. Inhale up. Through to the same elbow. Inhale back up. And step it through for a lunge. If it didn't make it there, you can go ahead and help it. Two ways here. You can do warrior one, or you can come up with me for that lunge. High lunge. So back heel lifted option. You can put your back heel on the ground. Good. Find your strength. Find your power. Sink. Let those shoulders drop out of your ears. Good. Open up, warrior two. Good. Inhale, straighten everything. And exhale, press down. Good. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Peaceful warrior is what this is also called. Because when you look to God, you will find peace. amidst chaos. Inhale back through center, warrior two. Breathe. Good, you're gonna take your back arm, swoop it forward, warrior one. Hips face forward. When you're ready, exhale, airplane over that front leg, arms sweep back, inhale, arms back up, warrior one, drop your shoulders, find your power, find your strength. Inhale and exhale, sweep back. Good, inhale up. Look forward with that fierce determination and exhale, sweep back. Good, go ahead and stay here. Turn that back heel up off the ground. Step it in a little bit. And we're going to go ahead and come into warrior three. So if you've never done that before, warrior three, we're just going to come and you lift this back foot off the ground. Coming in to a balanced pose here. Arms can be wherever. They can stay back in those airplane arms, out to the side. Drop a plumb line, this may be easier for your balance. And think about getting those hips squared off to the ground. And if you need to come onto your hands, feel free to do so. If you need to just be there for a moment, but then you want to come back up into your balance, do that as well. Breathe. Good, bend your knee generously. Step it on back for that lunge. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, sink a little deeper into that lunge. Good. Inhale, find a little more length. And exhale, place that back heel at a 45-degree angle. Hands come behind you. You can interlock your fingers or you can grab opposite elbows. It's up to you, kind of depends on your flexibility. Opposite elbows tends to be easier. I'm going to stick with that today since my balance seems a little challenged. Take a nice big inhale, look up, nice baby back bend here, and then let your chest come forward to the inside of your leg. Breathe here. And in your next inhale, come on back up. Release your grip. Arms sweep up overhead. And framing that front foot, you're just going to step that back foot in even a little more, micro hair, so you can straighten that front leg. Nice pyramid pose here. A nice stretch through that front leg. Even in pyramid pose, I'm remembering that's where that verse comes from. God looked down on the people and had compassion on them. He rescued them and he delivered them. Good. Bending that front knee. You're going to pop up that back heel, send your front leg back to meet the other one. And bring it all the way down onto your mat. Untuck your toes, roll your shoulders back. Cobra, you can do just a little here, or you can push up as high as you like. Just make sure you're keeping those hips on the ground. Shoulders are back. Nice. Splay your fingers out, protect your wrists. Good, and lower down. Roll those shoulders back while you're on the ground. And then on your next inhale, lift back up off the ground for Cobra. Good, and back down. From here, we're going to take a nice stretch. We're going to do reversed bow pose. So you can find both of your feet. If this is not available to you, You can grab a towel and wrap them around, or you can just reach back as if you're reaching for your feet. And with everything, on your next inhale, we're going to go ahead and lift up off the ground. So if you're not grabbing your feet, you just lift your chest up off the ground, trying to lift your thighs up on the ground, off the ground. If you have a hold of your feet, you press your feet into your hands. Shoulder blades come together on your back, and you lift. You might find a little bit of rock here. That means you're breathing, and that is a great sign. When you're ready, release, taking one side of your face to the mat, hands by your side, and just relax into your mat. Find your breath. Use your breath, press your belly into your mat. Nice belly breaths here. And just take a moment to notice how when we go through something hard, man, the relaxation afterwards just feels so much more rewarding. So if we just hung out and relaxed all the time and took it easy, we wouldn't really know how rewarding and wonderful that feels. So just take that with a grain of salt whenever you sit on a beach and you're like, oh, I could do this all day, every day. No, it's not what we're made for, right? Your body grows with challenge and you learn to appreciate those rest times, those in-between times, even the challenge times so much more. So when you're ready, we're going to go again. So go ahead and bend your knees, kicking your feet up, reach back, find those feet or your ankles or your shins, depending on your flexibility in your hands, and inhale, rise up, pressing into those hands, pressing those legs into your hands. So one thing to think about is just that your knees are in line with your hips or close together, preferably in line with your hips and not like splayed out to the side, right? Like this is not really good for our bodies. Be in a straight line. Like the path we all want to be on. Straight and narrow, think about it. Breathe. I'm telling you, body, life, mind, motivations, they all can connect. They all can be connected. It doesn't have to be so separate all the time. We can integrate, and how much more efficient can we be whenever they all integrate? On your next exhale, release. Lay down on the other side of your face. Hands down by your side. Good. When you're ready, go ahead and press it back into child's pose. Knees can come as wide as your mat so that your belly comes in between your legs. I love this pose. It's just a good expression of both coming to God, the wonder of a child, submission of a child who trusts, and also just almost like this bowing posture, like, God, I just give this all to you. I give this day to you. I give this practice to you. I give you my mind, all the thoughts, everything. Right here. Good. When you're ready, you're going to walk those hands forward as if you're going to reach for the top of your mat. Tucking your toes. Bringing those knees back underneath you. From here, you're just going to press up into your downward dog. Good. Bend your knees generously, send your hips even further back and up, and then try to straighten your legs from that new position without moving your hips back towards your face. Good, when you're ready, walk, step, or jump. We're not gonna walk, step, or jump. We're gonna walk our hands back. This one's really fun. You guys ready? Here we go. All right, walk those hands back to meet your feet this time. You're gonna have to bend your knees a little bit unless you're super flexible. Everyone, bend your knees, roll up nice and slow. All the way up, arms reach up towards the sky. Inhale and exhale out to the side. Ooh. Good, let's have a little bit of fun. Find some momentum, find that adventure. Good, nice big inhale up. You're gonna curl those fingers in, roll it down as you walk those hands out into your plank. Perfect. Chaturanga, or skip it, tucking those elbows into your side. Up through downward dog, up through upward dog. We're gonna all meet in downward dog. Here we go. Inhale that right leg up nice and high. Exhale, knee to nose. God the Father. Inhale up. Exhale, knee to opposite elbow. And his son. Inhale, back up. Knee to same elbow. Trying to be like Christ. An example he set for us. Inhale, back up. Exhale, step it through for lunge. If it doesn't make it, help it. Okay? Have that compassion on yourself. It's okay. Good. Hang out here. All right, you ready? So we're gonna come up into a high lunge, which means we're gonna come up into this. If you feel really wobbly here, take this back foot, step it a little further out, wider. That'll give you a more sturdy base. When we're on like railroad tracks like this, where it's in one line, it's like you get really wobbly. It's not necessary, okay? I want you to feel empowered in this pose. So as wide as you need to, inhale, arms out. Find that high lunge. Drop those shoulders out of your ears. None of this straight down. We're warriors in this pose. This is prepping us for a warrior pose. Good. When you're ready, take that back heel on the ground, a 45-degree angle. I'm going to end up facing away from you. But warrior two, here we go. Inhale, straighten everything, arms up. Exhale, back to warrior two. Turn around for you. Good. Inhale, straighten everything again. Exhale, really press down. Good. Flip your front hand, take it back, peaceful warrior. Yes, God, I want to be slow to anger just like you. And revolve through, back to warrior two. Good, dropping those shoulders. And inhale, warrior one. So those hips are gonna turn and face the front of your mat. If you need to step in that back foot, you can. Inhale, arms up. Good, and when you're ready, go ahead and take those hands behind you. Remember, you can interlock your fingers, that's what I'll do this time. Or you can grab opposite elbows, up to you. Good, when you're ready, keep that front knee bent and then just try to come to the inside of that knee. Breathe. Good, on your next inhale, come on back up. Warrior one, hands up, inhale. Exhale, chest to your leg, airplane arms back. Inhale, up, warrior one. And exhale, chest down. If your lower back doesn't like warrior one, you can always flip up this back heel. A little more of a challenge. Inhale, up for that high lunge. Exhale, down. Up to you. You choose your option. Inhale, up. And exhale, fold forward. This time staying here. You can either keep your arms out, maybe bring them to your hips, but you're going to begin to lift that back leg up for warrior three. Good, trying to get your hips squared off towards the floor. So instead of your hips are open like this, you want them squared off towards the floor. Here you can have a block underneath your hands. Ideally, you want to be trying to balance here. If you need to tap that back toe down, do so, and then just come right back. Looks like it's plumb line for me today. That's okay, I'm sticking with it. When you're ready, stepping that back foot back, straightening that front leg. Maybe not as long of a stance this time, okay? You can step it up as much as you need to. We're coming into pyramid. Hands on your waist or your hips. The nice flat back. Fold over. That straight front leg. Gracious, compassionate, slow to anger, remembering that doesn't mean God doesn't get angry. Doesn't mean we can't get angry, but that we are slow to anger. And rich in love. First and foremost, rich in love. God is love. And that's where I want my riches to lie. In his kingdom. So when you're ready, go ahead and bend that front knee. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, open up, warrior two. Inhale, straighten everything. Exhale, back down. Back to warrior one. Arms come down to the ground on both sides of your foot. Step your foot back and go through chaturanga if you'd like. Maybe pausing a little bit in that chaturanga. It's not just a drive-by pose. Rolling your shoulders back as you come into upward dog. Opening up your chest. Opening up your life to possibilities. When you're ready, sending it back, downward dog. Go ahead and turn around for you. Are you feeling slow to anger and rich in love yet? Let's do one more round of sun salutations. We're going to take it with the going back style here. So walk your hands back to meet your feet. Nice bend in your knees as you roll on up. All the way up, reach up. And exhale, curl those hands, round it down. And nice long walk out to that plank. Little adventure. Maybe come all the way down, maybe do a couple push-ups. It's up to you. You can take cobra here. Tucking your toes, but staying on your knees, up to your knees first. Sitting it back all the way as far as you can, and then up to your downward dog. Good. Inhale, one leg up. Exhale, flip it open. Now you can stay here, maybe just work out this foot, or you can flip it completely. So just letting that foot come all the way down to the ground. Maybe reaching out behind you. Good, finding that little adventure today. When you're ready, if you flipped, you're just going to start turning your shoulders back towards the ground, letting that leg come up. Good, if you need to take a break in child's pose, feel free to do that. Otherwise, we got another leg. So inhale that other leg up. Exhale, open wide your hip. Again, you can stay here, or you can just begin to flip all the way over, reaching towards that front of your mat. This pose is really good for building mental toughness, Takes a little bit of unsteady to get here the first time, the first couple times maybe, even just random days. But it's so good at building character and strength. Not as much physically as mentally, actually, believe it or not. When you're ready, look towards that mat. Begin to move that hand back towards the ground, flipping that hip as well, back into your downward dog. When you're ready, walk, jump, or step your feet to the top of your mat. If you want to get a little exciting, bend those knees. You can even wiggle a little bit. And jump. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive with your chest forward. Flat back, come all the way up. Hands overhead. Hands meet. Third eye center. He's written his words on my mind and my heart. Hands to your heart. And I am rich in love. Slow to anger. Rich in love. Gracious and compassionate towards myself and others. Good. Your next inhale. Arms sweep up overhead. Exhale. Just let them come down. Find your mountain pose. Hands are at your side. Roll your shoulders back. Again, if you like the little imagery of the backpack that you're putting your backpack on, helping to lift your chest so we're not always like this. Like it's hard. No. Up. This is where we are. Yes? My fierce warriors. Breathe. Make sure you're standing on all four corners of your feet. You can rock forward and back, side to side, to make sure that you know what that feels like. What does it feel like to stand too much on the inside or the outside? Look at your shoes. They will tell you what you're doing. They'll be really worn down if you walk all on the outside of your feet. Use your yoga practice to help correct that. Find more balance. All right, enough for my speech for now. Ready? Inhale, arms up. And exhale, swan dive forward. Here you're just going to take opposite elbows and just gently sway side to side, trying to get your elbows next to your ears. With each exhale, you see if you can fold a little bit more. Good. Hands on the ground. Bend your knees. Go ahead and sit on back. Roll your shoulders back. Sit up nice and tall. Now here, if you want a little bit of challenge before we make it down to the ground for our final stretches, feel free to take a boat pose. Jesus taught a lot of lessons in a boat. We'll surely find a lot in the boat pose. So you're trying to keep a nice spine. Maybe you keep your hands under here so you make sure that your spine is nice and long. Shoulders are down out of your ears. Think about lifting from these collarbones, finding that length. Point your toes if you want a little extra boat shape. Okay? You can stay here. You can take your arms off. You can also take your legs long. Whoa! You can do some rocking. That's not really normally part of the jam, but it's a little playful. And it does work your abs if you can get back up and stay. But here's my favorite form of boat, is if you just go completely flat, pretty much, and then you come back up into your boat. So not really relaxing all the way down. Your legs still stay off the ground, and you really only come to about that mid-back whenever you lay down, keeping your chin nice and tucked, and then you come back up. If you've already laid down, take a few breaths and just relax, and you can just smile that this is not your life right now. When you're ready, nice and flat, and come back up. This time, grab underneath your legs, sit up nice and tall, and then round down, vertebrae by vertebrae, all the way down to the ground. Good, adjust whatever you need to when you get there. Maybe windshield wiper those knees side to side if your feet are flat on the ground. Good. Knees into your chest. Show yourself some love. rich in love. We're going to be gracious and compassionate towards our low back today and our hips. So two things is that a lot of people hold tension in their hips, and a lot of people have low back problems. So we're going to address both of those today with a lot of compassion towards them. All right? By showing them we did not forget them in this crazy flow. So go ahead and take both feet flat on the ground. And when you're ready, taking that right foot up and cross it over your left. Now flex this top foot especially. Feel free to stay here and just press this leg away. This is totally fine. But if you feel like it, you can take your towel or just your hands and reach through underneath that thigh, pressing that right elbow into that right leg on top. You still got that right foot flexed? Okay, and you can pull your bottom leg closer to your face. Breathe. This is an excellent stretch if you have low back problems. If you, like I said, we always think about that we hold tension in our necks because that's where we feel it a lot. Like, I'm really tense, I'm really stressed, like, my shoulders are killing me. But you actually hold a lot in your hips, and you also hold a lot of memories and hard life stuff in your hips. So just be gracious with yourself and compassionate towards yourself if this brings up things for you. Practice that rich in love and that slow to anger. We're nearing the end of our practice, so you don't need to gear yourself up to do more crazy things. You can sit with it, you can choose to not sit with it. When things start to come up, no, it's probably this pose right here. Feel free to come out of it anytime you like. Good, release. Take that foot off, place it flat on the ground, take your other foot over, flexing now that left foot as you reach through underneath. If you are interlocking your fingers, see if you can interlock them the awkward way. If you don't know what the awkward way is, interlock your fingers, that's your natural way, and then switch your grip. This way to this way. And just begin to pull that bottom leg towards your face as you use that left elbow to just traction out that left knee as well. Breathe. You can even close your eyes here. Begin to check in with your face. Are you holding tension in your eyebrows, in your eyes, your temples, and your jaw? Release your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Come back to those nice belly breaths. With each exhale, pulling that leg maybe a little closer. The Lord is gracious and compassionate, slow to anger, and rich in love. Can you say it? Do you need me to say it? Okay. Good. When you're ready, go ahead and release your legs. All right, our final pose for the day is you can just find a blank wall. This one's pretty blank minus the chair. And just put your legs up against the wall. Hang out here. This is a great stretch, total leg flush. And especially if you're a runner and you did a really nice, long, or hard workout, this is excellent for flushing the lactic acid out of your legs. It's also an inversion, which is really good for your heart and good for you. Good for your physical heart and your heart. Your mental heart, I guess. If you'd like to take it a step further, you can come into candlestick. If you're in candlestick, make sure you do not move your head side to side once you get there. Good. To come out of candlestick, you just bend your knees generously towards your forehead. Release your hands down your back. Let your feet come overhead as you slowly roll down. Good. And then just come into Shavasana. If you came into candlestick and you'd like a counter pose, just come up onto your elbows. Let your head fall back. Everyone meet us in Shavasana, that final resting pose. Legs just flop, feet flop open to the sides, palm space up. Try to make sure there's nothing touching your hands, so just move it out of the way. Again, begin to check back in. Relax your eyebrows. Relax your jaw. Let the shoulders become extra heavy. Good. Nice big inhales. And deep exhales. Let those hips relax to the ground. Let those knees relax as well. Feet relax. When you're ready, go ahead and roll onto your side. Again, staying there before you stood up, check back in, make sure you didn't pick up any tension with you whenever you came. Sink back into the ground, let your waist sink into the ground. And press yourself back up to seated. Good. Roll your shoulders back so nice and tall. Maybe keep your eyes closed. I'm just going to take you through the areas where I see we really need to manifest these different qualities of God, these different qualities of the Lord. So take your hands up to your head, your mind. Lord, I want to be slow to anger. Take your hands to your mouth. God, I want to be gracious. Gracious with my words. Gracious with the actions that result from my words or others' words. Hands to your heart. God, I want to be rich in love. Take your hands to your belly. Lord, I want to be compassionate towards myself and others. In my relationships. Lord, I want the kind of compassion that you have. The kind of grace that you offer, so that I may be slow to anger and rich in love. Lord, I pray that over everyone here. I pray that over myself. Lord, I know that you are writing these words on my heart, on my mind. I have embodied them, and you are not far from me. You are right here. And we just thank you for that. Amen. Thank you everyone for joining me again. I hope you enjoyed Devoga. And feel free to let me know if there's any verses you want me to study or meditate on or embody in our practices. Feel free, just as you do yoga yourself, kind of explore these poses. Think, oh, how do I see God in this? What can I get out of this? Maybe you pray before you start, God, what do you want me to see today? That's an excellent prayer. I do it every morning when I wake up. And it's really cool whenever you do it before you do yoga or something of the sort. And just know, it's nice comfort, like God's in everything. So Yeah, take that with you, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day, whatever that looks like.